Hi everyone, it's Neve here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at creating a Dylusions style doodling page, looking at a pastel butterfly. So this page was created for the Dylusions Facebook group challenge, which this month was to use pastels, butterflies and flowers. So I decided I'd start off by spreading out all the pastel colours on one side of my Dylusions journal. So there's vanilla custard, mushy pea, laid back lilac, peony rose. I think that's it. And I did the old kindergarten trick of splodging down some paint and on one side and then shutting the page, and I braided over and pressed it out so to spread the paint out. Just going over with a heat gun to dry the page. And the reason to do that was to create a sort of symmetrical pattern in a butterfly shape, and I was really pleased with how it turned out. It's a bit splodgy, but I got some nice patterns of where I thought I could create a butterfly shape. So once I had dried my page, I quickly sketched out a butterfly shape, and using some of the black marble Dylusions paint, I painted around the outside to give me a more solid butterfly shape. So because my butterfly drawing skills aren't brilliant, I had to use sort of a reference picture to do that. And the reference picture I used was some of the Tim Holtz tissue paper that comes in the big roll. Has a beautiful butterfly on it, so I sort of was looking at that when I was drawing out the shape to get the shape that I wanted. So painting around the edge with the black gesso, and I was actually really happy because suddenly I sort of started to get a bit of an idea of what I wanted to do. Now the reason I chose to do this way of creating the butterfly was I don't actually own many Dylusions stamps. I own all her paints, I own all the spray inks, but I don't actually own many of the stamps, particularly things like butterflies and flowers, because I have a lot from other brands. So what I chose to do was instead use a Dylusions style of creating a journal page, which is to do the doodling. And I find that when I get a bit stressed or when I don't have very much time to create a art journal page, I doodle a lot. I just sort of splodge down some colours and do patterns over the top. So that's what I was doing in this, was circling using my food ball pen areas of colour, and then I would go back in and do patterns in them. And because it was a butterfly, and of the way I created the butterfly, getting that symmetrical colour on either side, obviously I wanted the same patterns on either side as well. So this is just sort of going in and marking out the areas I wanted to have, and then going back and putting the doodles in. Now I'm not particularly, I think everyone does this. You've got your own patterns that you tend to stick with, and mine tend to be a looped sort of mermaid scale circular pattern. So you do 3 loops and then 3 loops coming off it, so it sort of looks a bit scallopy in the way it does. The other thing I love to do is to draw just wiggly lines of varying widths and to write into them, and I find that writing into them in block letters, it actually turns it more into a pattern than into a picture. I knew in here as well I was going to have to doodle some flower shapes because I didn't have any flowers. I could have got away with not doing butterfly because I had a butterfly on the page, but what I chose to do is write the word butterfly into some of the patterns. Other things that are really easy to do is just to draw circles and fill them up with lines, and I know that's a motif that you see a lot in the Dylusions doodling, but it just gives a beautiful texture to the page. You'll notice I've got some paper towel to put over where I'm working. Because the Dylusions paints do have a sort of glossy surface, the food ball does dry beautifully on them, but it's just the ink stays a little bit wetter. And because I want to work on both sides simultaneously to get the same sort of patterns, I just wanted to have something to protect my hand. And I do apologise for my head getting in frame. I kind of forget that I'm filming, and yeah, I just get into it. So here I am drawing a really simple leaf pattern. Draw a wiggly line down the middle and just leaves off either side in alternate fashion. So that's another pattern that I've been playing with recently. I'm sort of trying to push myself outside of my usual patterns, and here are some of the ones that I've used. So if you get stuck looking for patterns, what I suggest you do is to look up Z-tangle patterns on Pinterest or on the internet. They're really simple to do, and they're great to practice and have sort of in your wheelhouse for when you're doing it. I hope you really enjoyed this simple page. It was lots of fun to create, and get your Z-tangle on and get your doodling out. Thanks for watching. Bye.